Yeah, hi, Kagini Starrett. How are you doing today? This is Melinda Roy.
Hi, Melinda.
Yeah, I cannot see yes. So, are
Sorry,
you
you can.
fine? Are you fine? I cannot
I'm
see you with
doing.
more energy. Are you ready for?
Sorry.
I cannot
Yes,
see
I
you.
am.
Yes, we are ready. So, can
Can
you
you
hear
see
me?
my? Yes. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. We can see you.
Oh, good. And you
So,
can see the.
yes. So, yes, Kagani Starrett. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, before we start your presentation, I will give a brief introduction of yours. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Kagan Starrett is here. So she's a woman lived with a purposeful grace, tending to their homes and families with the gentle diligence of threaded breadwork and woven baskets. Women sat in circles, supported one another, and even raised children together. Their very presence commanded respect, and men looked up to them for counsel and guidance before they marched off to war. So, as a successful electrical engineer in a male dominated industry, Kageni knows firsthand the stresses that women face in the modern workplace. Running a business, managing an organization, raising children, it can all seem overwhelming, leaving little time for self care and even less for building deep human connections and relationships. After years of chasing success in the corporate world, Kageni found herself feeling burnt out and disconnected from her own sense of self worth and purpose. So she turned to her roots, spending 40 days and 40 nights with the Maasai tribe in her native Kenya to become immersed in the ageless wisdom of the ancestors lived by her grandmother, passed down through countless generations. One thing Kagani learned that was clear was that most of us live in our minds, not in our hearts. That's true. So, what she discovered was a way of life that emphasized more on community, deliberate action, and mindful living. So the Magnificent Woman's Transformation provides a step-by-step blueprint for women leaders who want to prioritize their own soul, wellness, and lead with grace and purpose. Yeah, there is lot to know more about you, but I know you need. So it's 30 minutes. I have to give you a time. So yes, please go ahead and start your presentation. Thank you, Kageni, and good luck.
Thank you. We have just heard from Anne Claire in the previous presentation that when she asked women what success meant to them, most of them said, "Success is when I'm making an impact in the world." And I believe that to be true. So, when we're talking about shaping the women empowerment for tomorrow, we are seeing a shift. And I'd like to share with you an example. I help women. One of my clients, for example, she's a midwife and a doula, and she helps women deliver, have successful delivery at birth. And she was feeling burnt out because she had so many clients. So when she came to me, she was looking for a solution how she could deliver it one to many. I worked with her for about 6 months. And one of the things that we realized would work best for her is to create a program where she could handhold women from the first trimester of pregnancy through to the third, offer childbirth classes, help them with breastfeeding and lactation, to winning the child. I had helped her create her own signature program. We created a landing page. The only thing that were remaining is the marketing funnel, a bit like making a sausage making machine, to bring all these women who needed help during childbirth. Because let's be honest, even though we have our own innate wisdom, a lot of women doubt themselves when it comes to things like giving birth, raising children. running a business. And I know because I've been there. So why am I sharing this story with you? Because at that moment of breakthrough, she said something to me that I had to stop as a coach. She said, I don't think I'm ready. I want to go get an MBA. I said, okay, let's hold on for a minute. Let's put that thought aside. I reminded her of the goals she'd showed me she wanted to achieve in the next 3 years. MBA was not one of them. This is something I had gone through where I felt I needed the next qualification, another certification on top, just to feel worthy enough of helping others. I reminded her of how many women she had helped through complications in birth without that MBA. But you see, it was the fear speaking. And that's where we catch ourselves. And sometimes that fear comes because we need that external validation from others. Maybe it's our parents, maybe it's our husbands, or other people we are talking to who will tell you you need another MBA on top. Needless to say, as we heard from Shatoria today, what is your focus as a leader? We were able to help her find her focus and readjust, and she was able to run her business successfully. Now looking back, she can still do that MBA, but it will be in her own time, in her own terms. And I guarantee it will be in her calendar, because that's how you manage and control your life. I would like to share with you a bit of my own personal story. This is me working as an electrical engineer. I was born in Kenya, and I'm sure some of you have seen stories on TV. We overcome adversity to get this far. And when I landed a chance to study electrical power engineering in Australia, I can tell you it was one of the greatest moments in my life. Because where I came from, women did not get opportunities. And I knew not only was I doing it for myself, I was doing it because my mother, my grandmother, who had passed down their torch to me, wanted me to succeed for all of them. However, when I got to a male-dominated industry, I experienced something, I only call it now the triple gem. The challenge you face when you're young, when you're female, and most of all, when you're African, living in a different culture. Now, none of the training I ever had in university will prepare me for the challenges to try find my seat on the table. And I was great at what I did. But I also realized certain challenges were like, I had 3 times the workload. And there were times my work was never acknowledged. What came so natural to me, like bonding with people, greeting people, smiling with people, what we call Ubuntu or human connection in an African culture. In a male-dominated industry, it came across as if I was flirting with men. And I remember at some point, I remember asking someone, I said, do you think I walked to school with no shoes to get this far to flirt with men? And when you realize we have been conditioned, and the way the society and the world at large has been conditioned is so that women give away their power. As we heard earlier on, the divine feminine energy is very different from the masculine. We are more collaborative. Women like to support each other. It's what comes natural. We've heard earlier, we lean more towards qualities like empathy. Men do too as well. However, I like to point out something my grandmother once said. He said women stayed at home to tend the flame while men went out to hunt. As a society, we already know the woman brings the warmth. That's why mother's food tastes the best. That love. We have a word for it. We call it Ubuntu. Having my efforts trivialized in a male-dominated industry, I struggled to find my authenticity. I was expected to conform. And most importantly, I was expected to compete like men do. All these are unnatural to me. Now, I grew up with my grandmother in the first 4 years of my life. And one of the things I realized is how different the upbringing I'd had and the values I saw in my grandmother was so different from this corporate setting. For example, she grew up in a matriarchal society in Kenya. I was living in a patriarchal society in the West. Men looked up to women and respected them. Give or take, but there are good men out there. In a corporate setting, it depends what you get, especially in leadership. Men went to women to seek answers. Women are expected to find answers from men. And I was very split. And I started to see things in myself I never saw in my grandmother. Self-doubt, self-criticism. And in a way, I no longer felt confident about who I was. I felt as if I was living in a world that being my authentic self was a punishable crime. And I remember when I decided to leave the position I was working in, and I was very good at what I did. They replaced me with 3 electrical engineers, including 1 principal electrical engineer, and none of them was smiling. After that, I remember I decided I wanted to go and discover more about who I was. That experience was excruciating for my soul. I had the outer accolades, but internally, I was crumbling. And as women, we have been told, you have to look as if you've got it together. No, we don't. And like we heard earlier on from Dr. Tracy, sometimes you just have to say, I need a minute. And I give myself permission to go and cry. I give myself permission to feel sad. I'm giving myself permission to say, I don't know how I got here. Whether you are raising the children by yourself, whether you are running the business and your partner fell, or simply because you don't understand, do you even have a place to contribute in humanity? What I'll share with you next is my experience when I decided to go submerge myself to live back in a tribal lifestyle. For you to understand this, there's a story about an anthropologist who'd gone to Africa, saw a few kids playing, said to them, whoever who runs fast to that tree can have this basket of fruit and have it all to themselves. And the kids ran together, got all the fruits, and they shared it among themselves. He didn't understand this. He said, how did you know what to do? They said, it's Ubuntu. I am because we are. How can one person be happy while the rest are sad? Now, when I went back into this tribal living, I'd gone back to the way my grandmother had lived, to feel what it was like to live in community, to watch women who never forgot how to support each other. Being in the corporate world for years, I had seen a lot of competition with women. And here I'm seeing collaboration. I once shared the story how I lived with a woman who was married. There were 4 women married to one man. They were co-wives. I'm not supporting polygamy, so that we're clear. But what surprised me is how they did everything together, to the point that you didn't know whose child was whose. And the man was long gone, but they stayed together to raise their children together. And that showed me something that's so innately in women. That just demonstrates it. We have it in us. And so you realize the competition or collaboration. How are we shaping the empowerment of the woman of the future? You could see a lot of gossip in some places. You could also find a lot of jealousy among women in some places. And I'm not saying they weren't here. All I'm saying is it did not have the oxygen to thrive because of the unity. And at that point, I realized, even with an electrical engineering degree, if I did not hold into the values that mattered, what was the point? And I'm challenging you to do the same. And And you might say, oh, again, it's easy for you because, you can go to Africa and have that. I say, no, our grandmothers, all our grandmothers had these values. Think of that grandmother who may have handed to you a 100-year recipe from your family. The kind of a grandmother who left you her pearl earrings for your wedding day. She passed on the torch to you. And that's what matters. And what I'd like to share with you now is an initiation African women used to go through back in the day. Because to become a woman, you had to jump that line from when you're a girl to a woman. They'd be isolated for 6 weeks. And they'd have to start the fire from scratch. Imagine doing this when you're 15, 16. And the women would be isolated alone, men alone, girls alone, boys alone. And for the next 6 weeks, the young girl would have to tend her flame and hold it. Then her mother would add her flame, her grandmother would add her flame, so that she remembers that she's representing a lineage. Now, when she got married, she'll carry some of the fire from her home, from her hearth, and her mother-in-law would add some of that fire into her fire to remind her she's representing women from the lineage of her husband as well. Because women were believed to be the keepers of the flame, and they hold the flame. They hold the nurturing, the warmth, the compassion, not just for their husbands and the children, but for the community. And our woman would only be a woman if she enabled this out of the other women. Allow them to bring out more of their own magnificence. Now, here's a new concept for you. The reason they used the flame and the fire is because it was believed by my ancestors that within the heart of every man, woman, and child is a divine spark, your inner light that carries your magnificence to the world. It's the only reason you're here, to shine and radiate your inner light, show the world your magnificence. A divine spark within every person. And when you look into somebody's eyes, you see that light. And it's only then your own magnificence can be reflected back to you. How many speakers have you heard today? Were you sitting there and thinking, I wonder what she can teach me? I think I could learn something. Did you look to see her magnificence or his magnificence? Awareness is the key. For as a leader, it's about bringing out the magnificence in others, helping them pull out their strengths. Because only until we are one and we see ourselves as part of a whole, can we truly be our individual selves in our uniqueness, as we had, to bring out that inner rebel. Because your inner rebel is magnificent. We are not meant to be copycats. You are individualized. God peace. The last picture here, this process took me, I realized I had gone through some kind of inner alchemy, so to speak. And I challenged myself. And in 2018, I became the world champion of public speaking semi-finalist in Chicago. Having competed on 6 different levels, to represent Australia. And that was a big thing for me. When you own your own magnificence, when you believe you've got magnificence, despite of what the world is telling you, you give yourself permission to shine it for the whole world to see it. Because that inner globe, that inner light, that divine spark in you, that which makes you so unique, individualized, that part that makes you hold your place in creation, a bit like you're a golden thread in a tapestry, but so unique. Because the world only expects 100% of you, not 80% of somebody else. So how does the Magnificent Woman Transformation Framework work? If you think your own magnificence is at the central core, imagine leadership development that allows you to tap into your own inner wisdom, your own intuition, for you to be true to who you are, to be true to yourself as a leader. Public speaking and communication. In a way, you find your own message to share with your world, your story to share with the world. And you deliver it in a way that it's authentic, it touches people, and you're true to you. And the transformation. There's only one question I ask my clients to repeat to themselves whenever they need to make a big decision. What would my magnificent self do? What would my magnificent self do? What would my magnificent self do? And out of that question, I see this birthing where they make better choices. They give themselves permission to sit at the table. They're able to go for their dreams. They allow that inner rebel out. They have increased self-worth to ask for what they believe they deserve. When I work with women or men, any of those parts can be put together or can be standalone in the coaching program because it's holistic and every person is an individual and it becomes about bringing out your own magnificence. So do we have any questions? Because after this, I have a quick exercise for you.
Thank you so much, Kageli, for the great presentation today. So here is a question from our audience. So how do you prioritize? How do you manage your time effectively? And also, how do you handle criticism or negativity from your, among people?
That's a very good question. So first question is like, how do you stay focused and manage your pretty much your time and what you're doing? And then the next question was more about how do you handle the negativity you get from other people? We have to understand that energy flows where our intention is. You have to look at your time and energy as you look at money. Imagine every single day you're receiving $100 from the universe, Father, Mother, God, whatever you believe in. And it's up to you to decide where you're going to invest it. And I would suggest investing it in things that matter. Were you working on your business that day? Were you investing it in your children and spending quality time with your children? Were you investing it in yourself for some self-care? So in short, you have to invest your time and energy into where you want to your focus to be, because energy flows where your attention is. Become a deliberate creator of your life. The next question, how do you handle negativity? How personally I do it, I use affirmations. I think Elodie presented that earlier. Affirmations are just a way to talk to your own soul, that inner part within you. You know you, even though other people may not. And actually the next exercise, I will demonstrate this with your permission in the next exercise. What I will do, I'll ask you to close your eyes for just 3 minutes. I hope you can hear that. And just allow yourself to take in a deep breath. And in the center of your heart, I want you to see a glowing globe of light that is so bright for the world to see. It's so beautiful in its beauty. It's unfolding like a flower. That's right. And you see everyone around you like shining globes of light. You see their magnificence. You see your own magnificence. How do you want to share this with the world? You can say this to yourself. I am magnificent. I am magnificent. I am magnificent. So in summary, when you remember your own magnificence and you see the magnificence in other people, it's how you become successful making an impact in the world. And so to get in touch with me, if you like that or anything that you experienced, I'm usually invited in corporates to go speak on Ubuntu, how we can bring that collaboration from the way pretty much the wisdom of tribes, people living together in harmony and collaboration, how we can bring that into the teamwork. Or the story of the African children, how can one person be happy when the rest is sad? So if you want the spirit of Ubuntu in your organization, you can get in touch. If you need coaching, whether it's in public speaking, or simply you want to interview me for your podcast, I'd be more than glad. And please remember, you are magnificent.
Yes, Kanali, thank you. Yeah, Swarna has joined your session. So, yes,
Oh,
Swarna, do you have any questions?
yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I Kagini, I am absolutely mesmerized by the way you talk. So I want to learn how to do that. But my question is, I'm having difficulty with my daughter. She wants me to come to see her, but yes and no. And then she's mad at me. I do want to go, but I also want to attend. I'm a speaker tomorrow. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so how do I? And I do want to attend, do my presentation, and then I can fly maybe on day after tomorrow. But I don't know. Maybe you can help me here. My dilemma
Okay.
is I don't want to lose her, but at the same time,
I understand. Well, thank you, Sona, for your question.
yes. Thank
What
you.
I'm hearing, yes, what I'm hearing, you have an opportunity that has been given to you, which is to speak and to present yourself. But at the
Yes.
same time, your daughter needs you.
Yes.
And you're going like, which of these choices do I make? Because if I do not do what my daughter wants, it may create conflicts, it may create some problems. But I do
Yes.
want to speak and I do not want to miss my opportunity. So here I will share with you the same story I shared about the client who was about to launch a business. And she decided, oh, someone said you need to go and do an MBA. It's important for you to be true to yourself and ask yourself, what am I investing in? What do I want to invest my time and energy in right now? And can my daughter wait? The conference cannot wait, can it?
Yes. And I worked hours doing that presentation, and
Is
hopefully
a
I would like to.
So it is a test. Everything is a test to see how true you are to yourself. Because even though you came to this conference next year, there may be different people. It won't be the same conference,
No, I know.
but your daughter will be the same. So what I'd share with you is a prayer by the ancients, which is,
So,
it is okay. It is, the prayer is, I love my children even, and it is okay if I have to disappoint them. I'm not obliged to jump every time my children call me because I love them and I've invested in her. I've done everything I can for my daughter this far. But this is my opportunity that I've waited for so long. This is my chance and she can wait. And I'll say this to her with love and I'll stand in my truth. And I do not love her any less. I do not love her any less for me to stand for myself and take this opportunity that I've waited for so long for.
you don't make
Learning
me.
to, it's learning to say no. Learning to say no and not feeling guilty about it. You
And
deserve this shot.
she's gone back and forth. That's why it's all confusing to me. Like
I
one day
think
she said yes.
what will your magnificent self do?
I really want to attend the conference, and then hopefully and I'll go to see her day after tomorrow. And even if it costs me more money or whatever, it at this point, money is not an issue. It is keeping a balance between the two. I'm
I
so glad
believe
I
in you.
believe in
I
myself.
believe in you.
Can I call you someday? I love you.
Yes, please get in touch. Get in touch.
How do I do that? Is that through this scan?
Yes. Can you just scan that?
Just scan it? Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are Kegini. I will ask Durga. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I think you gave me my answer. I
You are
love
magnificent.
ancient wisdom like from Africa, from India. See, I'm from India originally, and my talk is about Indian wisdom. So hopefully you can come to my talk
I look
tomorrow.
forward to watching it.
Thank you so much.
You are
You really,
magnificent. You are magnificent.
thank you.
Wow, Kageni, thank you so much. It's really a very good and mesmerizing speech said by Iswarna, and also a very wonderful presentation. And lots of love and smileys to your presentation as well. So yes, if we want to contact you, can you send us your email ID in the chat?
Yes, I'll put it in the chat
Yeah, put
now.
the email. Yes.
Yes, and you can also scan.
But email would be helpful if you can.
Yeah. So it's info@School of Magnificence.
Say that
Info.
again.
Could you please type it? Could you
Yeah, I'm
please
Type it.
type
typing.
it? Because if you
Type it
miss,
in the chat.
yeah, if you miss,
Info@schoolofmagnificence.com.
I'm gonna capture it in my camera. Leave it there for a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Thank
hope to
you.
see you someday. Do you live in United States or in Africa somewhere?
Australia. I'm
Australia.
global.
Global. Thank you. I will be contacting you. But I really, truly appreciate. I think you gave me my answer.
Thank you. You are magnificent.
I'll try to believe
happy
that.
to see both of you in one stage, Swarna and Kageni. And I
I would
hope you'll
love
have a
to.
very good
I
hope
would
you'll
love
have
to.
a very good contact with Kageni and your talks as well. And yes, do you have any questions for Kageni Swarna? If you have any questions, yes, you can even reach out to her email ID personally. And yes, this is how we can increase our network. This is
And
how this
Melinda,
is a global platform.
you know what? I'm so sorry I could not come. I was coming. I had the ticket and everything, but there was a storm in New York, and my flight
Yes.
got canceled. And then they tried to reroute me from somewhere else, from Charlotte. Then I was scared that I'm going to get stuck on an airport. And because I really wanted to be in person and meet you or all these awesome, magnificent beings, I would have really liked that, but maybe this was not the right time for me, I guess. And that's why I'm
Uh,
sitting here. Otherwise, I
yeah.
wanted to be in person.
Yes, Varna, I can understand. Yes, so many cancellations has happened because of the situations in New York. But yeah, that's okay. Sometimes it will happen. But yes, you are here with us in virtual summit. But no problem. We do have another events which is coming up in November 2nd and 3rd in Paris, France. That is gonna be hybrid. So if you want, you can even attend physically for that conference as well.
I think
So
I
yes,
won't
this
go
is
to
the
Paris. I won't go to Paris, but I'll do virtual. Oh, I also need your information because I do want to come in 2024 if it's in USA.
yes, it will be in USA next year. So we
Yeah,
will send you all this information to your email ID as well. So yes, next year definitely we will participate as a in person. Okay,
yeah.
if everything goes well.
Melinda,
Yes.
I have a question. I'm a little bit worried like how I'm going to be connected tomorrow. Is there a stage, backstage? How do I, because I have a PowerPoint presentation, just like Kagini. Am I saying your name right, Kagini? Is it?
Yes. Okay.
So, so can you help me that later? Maybe I can call you or something.
Yes, I can help you with the presentation and how to log in into the AirMeet. Yeah, definitely. I'll get back to you. Uh, okay, I'll
Get back.
contact you, or
Okay. Thank
yeah, or you can contact us.
Okay, okay. I'll
Okay.
call Durga. Durga is my contact point, and I'll ask
Yes.
him how to,
Okay.
because I do want to talk to you
Ye- Yes,
before I do.
definitely she will help you. She will help you. Thank you, Swarna, so for taking your time and
Yeah,
making this event, Kageni and Swarna. So
it
it
was
was
so,
really a mesmerizing speech.
let me tell you, it was
Um,
so interesting that I didn't even know what this was, and I thought maybe it's like a something fake, or it took me a while to register and put my money in there, because I thought, why is this person calling me to present? And so I thought, is it some kind of a scam or something? But then Durga convinced me, look, it's not a scam, it's real thing. And now, oh my God, I can't even believe how wonderful this is. So I'm going to tell all my friends about it so they can also join next year. And
yes, Swarna,
virtually,
don't judge a book by its cover. This is what happened right now.
Paris virtually, USA in person. And
Wow,
Cagney is,
thank you,
oh,
thank you so much.
Cagney,
So
I think
yes,
you came for a reason. I joined you for a reason, it seems to me. You just opened my heart and made me decide.
thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful support with global conferences. So yes, ladies. So how happy I am with the feedback with Swarna the game right now. So yes, this is how women, if we connect on in one platform, so we are making network. We are connecting with each other knowingly or unknowingly. We are getting to know each other. So this is how we can build our relationship, build our business. So yes, we as a woman, we are more power. So yes, I don't thank you so much for joining this sessions, Kagini and Swarna, and hope you will have we hope we will see you in the next conferences as well. And so running out of time, so let's move on to the another speaker, Liz Hardy. So she is waiting. So yes, bye for now, Swarna and Kageni.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you and bye bye.
Bye. Bye, Ken. Love you.